Hi, Paul.
Hi.
Hi. This is your first time to India? And what do you think? How is it going here?
It's our very first time. Oh yeah, I hold it, it's so easy. So indeed it is my first time and also almost all of the other band members. Only our guitar player has been here and he has been telling us so many nice things about India, and now we went to discover them ourselves. And I think we are all like truly flashed by a lot of, how to say, a lot of things that you discover. It's like a little tiny cultural shock, but in a good sense, I'd say. So much different from where we come from, but we met so many nice people. We made so many great experiences. I think it's worth coming back.
So, also do introduce your band. I mean, and you have had 2 shows before, right? Pune and Calcutta. So do introduce your band and how was it performing? I mean, you could also add, please.
Well, actually, I pass it on to Mara, the lovely singer of the band, but I first say a few words about how this project came to happen. Actually, Urban Voyage is my bigger band with 11 people in it, and they wanted really to have this band over, but it was really difficult to make this 11 people work. So I thought we might as well go with a reduced version of that band, and so I picked the 5 musicians that could fit the best together. And I also thought, well, since we are going there, I might also compose some new tunes, and so it's all new compositions almost that we play in a reduced setting, and hopefully we can also make this work as some kind of side project to the actual Urban Voyage project. So it's actually a first tryout.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. And well, I can also pass on to Mara Mignoli, and she will talk a bit more about how we felt here in India, I guess.
Yeah, so it has been actually a very, very nice experience. So it's always like you go to a new place and you never really know how will the people react. Will they embrace you, or will they be like a little bit, oh, what is that? But it has been super, super nice. So everybody has welcomed us in a very warm way, and everybody has received us with a lot of love. So yeah, we really enjoyed playing here.
How do you classify? I mean, how would you classify your band in terms of the kind of instruments you use and the kind of the variation of jazz that you are basically performing? So where did you start from, and where are you right now? If you could just tell us a little bit about the journey, and same with you also, your vocal journey for that matter.
Well, how much time do we have?
Time.
This should be no. I mean, the thing is, what I always think of myself as a musician, which is most important, is polyvalence, and that you don't limit yourself to one particular style. And since I've grown up with classical music, Western classical music, pop and rock of the times, and also a bit louder styles, and then I discovered jazz, and then lately when I was studying I discovered electronic music and hip-hop. And when I write, it's not that I intend to write something in particular style-wise. I just try to write for the people I play with, and well, the result now for Urban 5 was something in between, like, let's say, hip-hop, soul, jazz and impressionism.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Do you agree, Mara?
Yes, I do agree. Yeah, I mean, as he already said, he tries to write for the people, and I think for the people that are playing in the band, that's what you meant, I guess. And I think that he succeeds in that very well, because I have the feeling that everybody feels very comfortable playing that, although everybody is like super different in the band, but he manages to create different parts and different atmospheres, so everybody can kind of fit into with their personal way of playing. Yeah, so that's a very, very nice way to work with, a very nice arranging approach, I think. Yeah.
It's like smoothly blending, various traditions, right? Which is what, I mean, you yourself said that you've come from the classical tradition and now you've changed. And do you see a lot, I mean, don't you think that now jazz is about constant change and constant variation?
Well, jazz has always been connected to a lot of change, because it's a very alive music and a very organic music, and I mean, jazz yeah, it became a style probably. It's really hard to explain because it developed always in a very natural way. Since its beginnings, it has been a mix of influences, a melting pot of different cultures and different backgrounds. And I think if you want to do that nowadays, you should not be afraid of doing the same. So there is nothing you cannot mix. Some people say, oh no, that's something I would not touch. You cannot do this and that. No, but as long as you know the tradition, as you have respect for the tradition, everything is possible. And if you would stick too much or stay too much in just one direction or just one drawer, you can never create something else. So nowadays it's really about mixing background, I think, because melody-wise, harmony-wise, musical material-wise, everything has been said in a way. We only have, well, we at least only have 12 notes. Maybe there are other cultures, other styles. I mean, I also, for example, I took a class in Amsterdam Conservatory where we learned about Indian Carnatic music, and which opened a whole new world. I did not succeed in integrating it too much in my music, but why not? I mean, there's so much more that you can learn from, and why not use everything that you get a grip on? I think that's very interesting.
Because as you said, I am more maybe from like a soul tradition, and then like throughout my studies I've been singing a lot of jazz, and I also really like doing that. And as you said, or like your discussion before, like about what people have to create maybe a new style of jazz, or is it possible to mix something? And I would also say yes, it is definitely possible to mix, and maybe, but I would also say nothing is necessary. So for me it's like I have my background, and I also like to keep the backgrounds in it, or like I feel like it is so much inside me that I can't really like get rid of it. But I think it mixes very well with the jazz tradition as well, which is also very close to the soul tradition, as one like emerged from the other. So I think both go together very well.
Paul, I mean, you talked about the Carnatic, the influence of Carnatic, which in Amsterdam. So, do you see that influencing your music, or is it already sort of influenced your recent compositions?
Well, it for sure made my timing a lot stronger, because rhythmically the Indian musicians are far away from what we can do. And it certainly also triggers some ideas sometimes. I mean, since you are writing in a different style, you might try, for example, other subdivisions, because we are used to, I mean, the typical Western guy is probably just used to just a 16 subdivision or triplet subdivision, always very square. And now I discovered 5 and I discovered 7, it's like next level, and you can also like hear that. Maybe we don't do it really technically by thinking now I have to do this and this and that, but since I have explored it and played it, naturally sometimes it comes out, and it can feel like that music in a natural way. But yeah, since I have not started a really fusion project with Indian music yet, I cannot say that I really deliberately introduce it, but it has, I mean, like I said, everything that you learn, that you listen, that you touch, that you embrace has an influence on your music in a way or another. Yeah.
And how is what kind of like performances and shows do you have back home? That would be very interesting too, and where you've performed, like music festivals or something about that.
Back home, well, back home would mean in Luxembourg right now, and it's a super small country, very, very small. I mean, you cannot imagine. It's like the whole population is a bit more than 500,000 people of the whole country.
Okay.
So, and for that number of people, I think we have a very rich cultural offer actually, and more and more. And actually, one of the reasons why I'm here as well is that since 4 years we have an export office that is doing a very nice job in bringing people to Luxembourg, listen to Luxembourgish artists, make the connections, and send us musicians out in the world. And that's a very nice and very noble infrastructure and task, I think. But also, I think besides that, recently there are a lot of new festivals spreading. I mean, in the summer we have a lot of open air festivals. We have a really great jazz festival in one of the towns near to my hometown that's taking place every year. And I mean, there is a lot of offer. There could be more demand. I mean, there could be more people being interested in that. But it's a long work. It's a process. You have to like educate people from the earliest age on to get a taste for music, like you educate them, get a taste for food or anything. You need, if you always just eat the same thing, you will never get an idea of how subtle other cuisines can be. If you never taste Indian food, you can never explore how much richdom there is in this choices of spices and everything. So it is the same with music. From the young age, you have to teach kids to be curious and to discover new things, and they will then later on also become audiences and being interested in everything and go to your shows in a way. But there are a lot of shows happening, that I can say.